Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams one-coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I am James Boyd, and me, I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man? Oh, I'm sorry. I had to add to this one. YGB Rich. What's going on, YGB
Hold
Rich?
on. YGB, hold on. Why do I have a nickname now?
Oh, I've done it before. Every blue moon, I think to myself, you know what? I'm going to call him YGB Rich this week. I've done it one other time before. Yeah.
I'm not like, it's like the opposite at me. I am not being known by that. Like, not much, man.
Bro, that's one of my favorite clips on all any of the dating gender war nonsense you see. Like that one, every time I see it, I stop and hear that woman like just read him for filth. Like, I'm not even gonna call you no damn YGB. What do your mama
YBG? Young, Black, and Gifted.
Yeah,
you know,
it stands for something, Queen. Look, once he starts calling her Queen, I was like, oh, this nigga ain't worth a damn.
Back him up.
Yep,
back him up.
Yeah, man. So there's a lot of stuff. Forbidden Door is this Saturday. We got some maneuvering going on during the show to get to the final card. So we're going to preview that. Rich was not much of a fan of the show, so he thinks that it's better for us to just preview the show to do the review of Dynamite. So I think that's what we're going to do. But Rich, there's some other things. Where do you want to start?
Yeah. They're like the stuff from the show I will get to because I have a show review pulled up. I will bring it up during the preview, and one of them is long overdue. They've just been kind of missing, the formats throughout the week or whatever, or probably like the last 3 weeks. They've kind of escaped, but they're not escaping today. So, but we will start with Chris Jericho. A lot of people have been, poking and prodding at me, saying what I think of all this, right? So, if you haven't heard, Chris Jericho, apparently, obviously he hasn't been on TV in AEW since April. He liked a post about him possibly going back to WWE. There has been talk about it. Dave Meltzer has reported on it, saying it's a really big story. His contract is up at the end of the year. And there's lots of talk about WWE. I think there's like some maneuvering going on through the media right now with Jericho to try to get whatever number he's looking for right now, which is why I think some of these stories are emerging now. Yeah. I don't think he necessarily wants to leave AEW, but he will. And the examples that I have of Chris Jericho willing to leave a promotion is his entire fucking career. So, people were like, hey, man, is it time to count out Chris Jericho? Look, Chris Jericho has always made the right move for his career.
Rich, are you ready for Should I be serious now or should I get to my nasty joke?
Oh, go ahead.
Now, you say he's going to reach for agency, he's going to do what's best for him, right? And I believe that. Does that mean that he is going to go back to WWE? I'm not so sure. Because, John Cena is having his last matches at the end of this year in WWE. I'm not quite convinced that Vince McMahon is not going to start up a Fed.
Interesting.
It remains to be seen if he starts up another Fed. Because if he starts up the Fed,
I mean, he could just go back to the Fed.
Well, he can't necessarily go back to the Fed.
But they're doing the soft launch for all this shit now.
Yeah,
with Brock.
Yes. Possibly, but a lot of that stuff is I have my tinfoil hat on, you have your tinfoil hat on. So we both just is saying nasty shit. But yeah, as far as Jericho for real, I think that he would be looking in his best interest to go back to WWE. I think that we're at a point now where unless there is another type of dramatic change in his outlook that we can't account for right now, I think he's at the point when I was like, I can't keep up with the top acts in this promotion anymore. I am absolutely a first ballot Hall of Fame cornerstone person in the history of this promotion, but now it's time to go to WWE, get my retirement run, and possibly come back to AEW for a retirement run too. Like, it's time to wind it down for him. Now, do you think he knows it, or do you think he still got some in the tank?
I think this guy is among the handful of the most driven professional wrestlers that has ever lived. And the old line is never count out Chris Jericho. And I wasn't playing, kidding, joking, none of that. I've seen the shape he's in right now. This man is in phenomenal condition right now.
Oh, Jericho is?
And yes.
I didn't know that.
He lost a bunch of weight.
Again.
I can say again. And he looks totally different. Let's just say that. But I don't know if that, obviously it's a lot harder to do at his age and everything like that. But this guy is one of the most driven wrestlers there is. If he feels like he can't get the number, I always saw him as being a right-hand man to Tony Khan at a certain point. But maybe, if we think about the history of the company, Jericho was the person that didn't fall for the EVP thing. He was like, nah, just fucking give me the big bag.
Yeah.
And I'll take the unofficial title with all this shit. And he was the smart one of all that.
But there's also another part, right? More nastiness, right? If Jericho leaves, do we get another small little detail and information of him leaving, saying that oh yeah, his office job is now missing, and then you find out, oh yeah, he had health insurance all along. Remember that CM Punk thing? We're like, oh yeah, his other contract.
I'm sure he does.
That's what I'm saying. They
already announced.
Just being nosy.
No, they've already announced that stuff when he re-signed. They basically said he had a office position or whatever, kind of mentor or whatever. Moxley has the same shit.
Yeah, I just looked up his Instagram. Yeah, you can tell just at his face he's lost weight.
Yeah,
you can just look at his face and tell he's lost weight.
Right. So when I think about what Jericho's meant to AEW, obviously a huge fucking deal. Of being not even necessarily the first big star to do it, because there are a lot of big stars. He was the biggest, and he was a legend or whatever that made that move in the beginning when there was nothing guaranteed at that time. So I think there's going to be a certain amount of respect shown for Jericho when he's either heads out or if he stays or whatever, right? I think Jericho, however, has been the perfect target for anyone, with Jericho, the way that he has, the rest of his career has played out, what has made it easy to take shots at him. Obviously, you could bang on him for his political stuff. You could bang on him for leaving WWE, and obviously that creates a huge target on your back. You're pushed as a first champion, it'd be like, oh, who is this fucking old guy or whatever? Then you just got to keep proving it. Whether you want to believe or not believe, allegations that were never raised against him, that stuff like did damage to whatever, regardless of like whatever like was not alleged. So, the reinvention and the staleness in him sliding down the card. People have talked about the Jericho vortex and all this stuff I didn't necessarily agree with. But I thought that this guy gave so much creative brain power to pretty much everything, got pretty much everything over up until maybe the learning tree, I could say. I'd probably say the learning tree wasn't that over, but he still did his thing and ended up with a couple good matches with Bandito. Like, we saw him like working with like pretty much everyone in the promotion, maybe except like Swerve. Like, I don't think he's had a major match with. Everyone else he's pretty much worked with. Like, I think from that perspective, like, yeah, he's exhausted. Like, he could use a change of scenery. You could obviously see him jump. I struggle to see how Chris Jericho is happy working under Paul Levesque, because that's like, that beef is for life. I don't look. That shit is weird. Them niggas hate each other for 30 years. Yeah, so
and there's
that would be. I think and the Rock into this, because Rock is cool with Jericho. Jericho has always loved Rock. There's like another, like he's basically, like, you see what Triple H is doing like now, like how we were seeing like all the old players or whatever gathering up. Like Shawn Michaels runs NXT, Undertaker is doing AAA and all this shit, right? Who's gonna run TNA when they get it? Essentially, it's like, if you're Jericho, it's like, all right, maybe I could get one of those spots or whatever. Like, that's basically like one of these inner circle type things. But I would have always thought that would have been in AEW. But maybe he convinces himself, I'm working for The Rock, or I'm working under The Rock. And, it's a whole, I think people will tell themselves whatever to make themselves feel comfortable. But, I just think Jericho's done it all in AEW. He can write his own ticket. He can stay. He can go. It's not like I'm going to stop supporting Chris Jericho. Like, I don't, like that's my dude since 1996. Wherever he goes, like, it's like, am I going to be necessarily tuned in to watch like what he's doing on like a Raw or a SmackDown? No, because I don't do those type of things. But big WrestleMania match. But I could imagine Jericho. Like, I think it's so valuable to have him for Tony Khan, for the history of the promotion. Is basically, if you buy Jericho, quote unquote, and I term it like that for a reason. If you buy Jericho for whatever, like another 5, maybe even 10 years or whatever, you buy his platform. Like, you buy the Talk Is Jericho platform, essentially, to making it a AEW friendly outlet. You got enough outlets already working against you. Like, with all this, ESPN stuff, they're getting yanked off of websites, and you have him as a backstage mind. You have a lot of different stuff with Jericho, and you have access to the Jericho story in AEW. And also, if there are unsavory things, you protect those as well. I'm not saying if there are or aren't, but if, in the case there are, you don't have to worry about another person throwing dirt on the company, or, we see it's the AEW pay-per-view week. Cody Rhodes is coming out here again. So it's like, these are the things you want to kind of protect. So that would be my biggest thing with Tony. But if Tony feels like, like, if this was sports, Jericho would be a bad contract. Absolutely. Yeah. If you gave him another one, like whatever, like that. Yep. But I think the thing would be like, would it be a bad contract, or are you paying for like the legacy and the story? It's like, all right, was the Kobe Bryant contract the last 2 years of $48.5 million? Yeah, in a cap sense, and if you're doing it in a basketball sense, no, but you bought more than that. You bought the loyalty, you bought the legacy, you bought everything for life, essentially, and you're gonna be able to basically spend that forever, essentially. So like, and you bought the image of never, seeing no other jersey on that person. Like, these are the things, like, I think with Jericho, I wonder what Jericho would want at this point.
I don't know. Like, because the simple thing would be if it was just like, I I'm wrapping it up, but we don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. He don't strike me as like, I'm ready to wrap it up.
Yeah, because it's a lot of these fucking the Attitude Era Canadians,
and he never gets hurt,
seemingly
ever.
Yeah, seemingly he's never had any serious injury that I'm aware of. But I think it's just a situation where they're all this thing where it's they have a certain value. Jericho more than Christian or Copeland, but at what point are you chasing, bad money after good? Or maybe I'm fucking that saying, but at what point is this diminishing returns or this is sunk cost, right? So, you can't just be out. I mean, it's Tony Khan do whatever he wants to with his money, but I would think that, given that you're in the middle of this ongoing media war, you might not want to, give a bad contract out that is going to immediately, the second you sign it, it's bad. No, you need to get him to the point where you convince him that it's his own idea that he wants to, wrap this up pretty soon. And if not, then you can come back. You always have a job here when you're done wrestling.
Right.
But we can't give you no wrestling contract no more. Not unless it's we got a year left. And this is we're going to give you a retirement tour. We're going to treat you we're going to give you the Sting run. That sort of thing.
And the thing is, Jericho, I don't know, Jericho's not really sentimental like that. He's a businessman. He's never talked about wanting to ever be in a Hall of Fame. He doesn't give a fuck about a lot of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Could that have been posturing? I don't know.
Yeah, but there's also this thing about, you mentioned he's not sentimental, but he also realizes that he's in a business that's built on sentimentality and nostalgia. So he recognizes that, even though he may not care about that kind of shit, he knows that his fans do. And people that are watching, wherever he shows up, wants him to have some kind of wind down, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he has to. I'm not saying that he's gonna if he goes to WWE, he's gonna get the fanfare of a John Cena, even though they fucked that up over this last year, as you see. But who do you think after what happened to Goldberg? Who do you think is more likely to end Cena? Who do you think is more likely to get this? When it's time for you to step away, who do you think is more likely to actually do it? In a way befitting a pro wrestling legend? Because
I feel like it's AEW.
Right, because they fucked up John Cena. WWE fucked up John Cena's retirement run.
That's crazy. But yeah, I could easily see Jericho rolling up, returning in the Royal Rumble. However, that is in Saudi Arabia this year. That's gonna be so nasty.
John, look, Chris don't give a He don't give a fuck about that. He'll get on that plane. He don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That is man. You got the wrong one for that one.
Yeah, he'll go get the check. But I could easily see the Jericho. I find it very I'm there's no way he would be fulfilled. It just doesn't seem like there's enough there. They'd be like, all right, man, if you bring in Chris Jericho, who's he working with for one? Is he working with Seth Rollins?
Owens. We can go pick up right where we left off in 2018 or 17 or some shit, yeah.
Neck surgery.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
How long is he out for? You think he'll be out for a full year?
At least.
Okay.
So, maybe Roman Reigns, CM Punk. Even though I heard CM Punk has Jericho on the no-fly zone.
That would be
apparently
hilarious if they work together in WWE. Because
Cody.
Jericho would do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, put me in the main event. I don't give a shit.
Put me in the main event. Yeah. Exactly. But man, look, I think I would find Jericho going to WWE hilarious in light of, the switch up that would occur with him. We would never hear about his wife again. We would never hear about where his political donations go again.
No.
We would never hear none of this stuff. It would all be magically erased. And, everyone would get to enjoy the greatness of Chris Jericho. I'm like, all right, man, y'all funny. But, all the built like a baby mama stuff, all that stuff, all magically erased. We won't have to hear none of it or whatever. But if I'm Jericho, Barry Bloom's gonna get the job done. Like he's gonna get. Yeah,
that's
you'll never hear
too?
about. Oh, Barry Bloom has been Jericho's agent since like the 90s.
I didn't know that. I thought it was only like the Young Bucks Elite situation. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, whatever happens, I'm sure he's going to make an informed decision. He's going to read whatever the way the wind is blowing and hook himself to the right situation for Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
It's always been that way. When it was time to go to New Japan Pro Wrestling, he was like, "Oh, I see what's going on over here. Yeah. There's a bunch of great wrestlers that I can just get in there with and like get a couple more years off." And what did he flip that into? Oh, hi, nice to meet you, Tony Khan. Oh, and then if TKO actually wants to spend money because they're so intent on hurting AEW and taking their first ever world champion away, oh man. They would probably love nothing more.
That'd be fucking hilarious. Like, yeah, we got this guy, and like he ain't been on TV since April. Like you, okay, sure, whatever. What a death blow! It's almost like the promotion is like completely moved on from the needing for Jericho. Like we're about to. Well, if we didn't have what we're having at Forbidden Door, we'd be like, bro, we're like a month away from like, is Kenny Omega ever coming back? So yeah, man, like AEW has moved on beyond like these initial launch stars being at the top of the card in that way. And that was part of the the growth of this company to be able to move on from the New Japan WWE stars and move and get to, Hangman, Adam Page, Swerve, Will Ospreay. So he served his purpose. He's done everything you could possibly ask for him. And you put him in the ring of honor and all that kind of stuff. I didn't mean Ring of Honor like pro wrestling Ring of Honor ROH. I meant like Ring of Honor like a football team has like their promotion. Special Hall of Fame type thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He definitely belongs in that. And, like football.
One of the most valuable wrestlers to ever walk in the company. Someone that's advocated for a lot of wrestlers that got major pushes or whatever. Jericho was like, that guy's okay. Yeah. Like Tony Khan will run by people like, hey, what do you think of this guy? And he could push the button the wrong way on somebody. And, my knowledge, he didn't. One of the only wrestlers to show up. There were a few wrestlers when Swerve won the championship. Chris Jericho showed up to the after party or whatever. I got to meet Jericho and kick it with him that night. That was kind of a crazy happening. But like, I saw all the wrestlers like throughout that night, congratulating them at the arena. But it's like, yo, do you take the extra step to like show up for somebody? Like, the real nigga, man. Like, I know, like, it's tough to give Jericho his props like that. But look, man, like, I've heard too many things about Jericho. So, look, I know people may not want to hear it from me or whatever because I've made it my thing, for years and years and years. But hey, he made me look good a lot. Made me look smart and correct.
Can someone clip Rich calling Jericho a real nigga? Because that wow.
Yeah.
All right. So
absolutely.
All right. Where do you have anything more to say on the Jericho situation, or you want to move on?
Nah, I guess we'll see. Maybe like we'll see like what if he comes back, like what would his last match be? I would be interested in seeing who that would be against. Because really it should be two people.
By the way, I saw someone make a joke that if he comes back to WWE, like he shows up in the YS6 as like as the fucking Painmaker. I'm fucking died. That is nasty, nasty, nasty.
Whatever happens, he's got to wrestle Osmo Dragon one more time. So figure that out.
You've been pushing that one for years now. Years.
I know.
That's funny.
Yeah. King of the North. He's donated a shitload of money to wrestlers' GoFundMe's over the years. Touched a lot of lives. Absolutely. Yeah. So, look, when we talk about complicated people, he's an actual complicated person. Like, so, Yeah, let's talk about something else that took the internet by storm these past couple days. Came across my Twitter timeline, apparently, and this is the phenomenon of U37 Football. Now, James, I am not old enough yet to qualify for the U37 Football League.
Yeah, you are.
So
you means under. You means under. That's all that means.
Oh, I thought it had to be like 37 and up.
So for example,
I thought it was 37 up.
So, for example, Caden's in Little League now. This is his first season. He's in U12, so 12 and under.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. I thought it was 37 and up.
But I don't know if this actually is an age limit to that, because like I've being down here in Florida. I have someone that's related to me that has played semi-pro football. I've seen, and I actually used to hoop with back about a decade ago. He used to do that, and I was like, bro, that sounds like the dumbest thing in the world. If you get hurt, you're fucked. Like, but yeah, man, like, so I didn't know. I think the U37 and the U40 thing is just a joke. I don't think there's actually an age limit on there. Because it will make no sense. Like, it's just an adult it's just adult rec football.
This shit, bro, I started seeing this shit, and when niggas was taking the helmet off and they had gray hair or whatever, like the gray low cut, essentially, and it's like, brother, what are you doing? They're out here covering terribly, moving around slowly, and like they selling out and talking a bunch of shit to each other, and it's just hilarious clip after hilarious clip after hilarious clip.
Can we be
James,
honest,
what position did you play?
Can we be honest though? Tell me why. Yeah. Tell me why half the jerseys were hard as fuck.
I mean,
half the jerseys was raw.
Hard. Some of the jerseys was raw. Some were based off like NFL teams or whatever. Like, I saw one like based off like the Saints or whatever. So, what would have to happen for you to put the number 76 back on, James? How do we get you into U football,
brother? Well, first off, I played at a school where like they didn't let you pick your number, so I would not have worn the 76. Like, it's actually funny because I was listening to Bomani Jones talking about the Ravens, like that run of draft picks Ozzie Newsome hit when like they just basically draft Pro Bowl after Pro Bowl after Pro Bowl every single year in the first round from 96 to like 2006, and like they were talking about Peter Boulware, and like. My practice jersey when I played football was 80. It was 58 because like the Boulware brothers wore that at Florida State. But but I did not know that what his politics were or became. So I had no idea he was gonna become a black conservative. But yeah. Anyway,
Peter Boulware.
Peter Boulware came. He's an R. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, bro, that shit was a huge bummer. Like, that motherfucker was so good at Florida State, so good. Anyway, but yeah, just no, absolutely not. That is so. I find it. How do I say this? These niggas are irresponsible. Like,
y'all have families.
Like you got exactly.
Y'all have responsibilities.
Bro, I saw all the jokes I saw was like, you got a concussion, now you gotta put in your vacation days to recover. Stuff like that. Like, nah, man. I saw some dudes, he tore ACL out there. I was like, nah, man, this can't be life. Nah. And also think about this, right? A lot of football and a lot of like youth sports is based off of people making it to whatever level they make it, because they, especially in football, when it comes to strength and conditioning and all that kind of shit, before you even get to the pads, is like you have typically some motherfucker that like, let me speak from my personal experience. You have some motherfucker that can bench press 400 pounds and is like one of the line coaches, and he's really fucking mean. And he says shit to you that gets you where you want to fight him, but you know you can't fight him because he whoop you. So he makes you lift these heavy ass weights, right? So I want to know how does an adult motivate themselves to be in the shape to be playing actual football? Because there is stuff now that I
was just going to ask. Do you think they practice, James, or do you think they just show up for the games?
They practice. Some of this stuff is actually like is beyond high school level sophistication.
Okay.
Right? Some of the stuff I saw, I was like, nah, they ain't. I mean, maybe some places, but like the average high schooler ain't running that. So
So are they doing Oklahoma drills at these?
Oh, that's another part. Like,
are they doing Oklahoma drills at these practices?
Okay, so it makes you wonder because, like, look, some of the stuff, a lot of football just want to in craziness and subjecting yourself to stuff that you would not do otherwise. And it's the dynamic of, I got people that are in my ear. If I don't do this, I don't play. This is a league you pay to play in. Ain't no, and also the roster ain't that big. So it's like, it ain't no, I got to it. So I don't know. And once is that situation where like you thinking about it means you ain't flipping the switch. That's a lot of football is being able to flip the switch. Flight or fright? That's a lot of football. So
fight or flight.
Yeah, I fucked it up. Yeah. So for me, it's just like, I don't even understand how this works. How do you even whip yourself up into this kind of thing to where like you get the motivation or summon the energy to do all the shit you don't want to do to even get on the field, right? Like when I played or whatever else, like practices and the condition was way harder than actual games because the games you get adrenaline. Like you don't have that during practice and workouts. You just fighting to survive. So I don't get it.
I like think about it.
Sounds awful.
Like. That's very bad. I think about back when I was growing up, I never played organized football, but I definitely played like street football and backyard football, like and playing playing tackle with no equipment. What the fuck was wrong with us? Like,
I gotta be honest with you. I did that as a kid too. You know what hurt more? Playing with the fucking pads on.
Really?
Yes, Rich. You wanna know why? The thing they don't tell you about football is all they don't really tell you about. You think about is everything hurts, and I don't mean hurt like oh my god, it hurts so much I can't possibly get up and move. It's always there's always something on whatever day that is nagging. You know what football cleats look like, right? The bottoms of spikes.
Yeah.
Those go into your feet almost every fucking day. At some point, someone steps on your foot with their spikes, or they leave their feet and their spikes end up sliding against your shin, right? Or your hand gets caught in the wrong place and someone's face mask goes right into it against someone's helmet. Like it's always something dumb that happens where you're like, damn, bro, like a little small piece of skin ripped off. Like it's all types of dumb shit that hurts. Like when people talk about what do they call it? Like most football players talk about like nagging injuries. They're talking about that kind of shit. You're not talking about like my ankle blew up or I tore a ligament. They're talking about like all these bumps and bruises that you accumulate throughout the season from the games to the practices or whatever else. That's why people be beat down by the end of the year. It's not it's not necessarily the wear and tear of the physical impact. It is that, but it's also the wear and tear is one thing. You being so tired you don't have your legs underneath you is another thing. But like also plus that layer of just discomfort or I can't sleep this certain way because I have, someone put a helmet to my ribs on the side. I don't wear a rib flake thing. Like it's all sorts of shit. So, man, I could imagine, like it was one thing when I was in my teens doing that. I can't imagine that shit at my age right now. I could imagine. That sounds like the dumbest thing alive.
I always used to want to play like wide receiver in backyard football. I remember one time, like, and I was all right, like, because I just go up there and take some risks or whatever. But like, I remember one time I was playing with my boy Mark. Shout out to my boy Mark. But we was gonna thump that day. I was playing with my boy Andre. He was an all-time quarterback, and then we was, just one-on-one or whatever.
The smartest man on the field, all-time quarterback.
All-time quarterback.
I ain't taking nothing.
So I went up there. I jumped for the shit, right? And then what do you think happened? It took my legs out or whatever. Took my legs out, flipped me upside down, landed right on my head, on my neck, bro. I got up, like, you know how one of them niggas, you see them in football when they take a hard hit, they get up quick as hell
because they hurt like a motherfucker. Yeah.
Yep, that was me. I got the fuck up, and I was like, I will beat the fuck out of you. Like it was we was this close from doing it. And like I was a homeboy of mine, lived around the corner. How you gonna fight somebody you live like a couple houses down from or whatever?
Hey, you get dumped on your shit in a way that you find unbecoming or like felt like someone's taking advantage of you. You will. It don't matter. And they gonna be like, bro, what? Ain't no be no bro. What the fuck is like? You hurt and now you want them to feel the pain you feel. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I was actually look, we piece it up though, but I remember I was like, like the football shit. And I was gonna play in high school, but I didn't end up playing.
You know who else was gonna play in the middle of their high school like basketball career, and then went out there like for like 2 practices and then quit?
Julian?
Kirby.
Kirby
went. Our homeboy Kirby, he actually did a Roman review with us a few years ago. Kirby went to JUCO for basketball, right? He's 5'9". He could dunk, right? Kirby was a good athlete for high school, for football anyway. He went out there and like he went out there for like 1 or 2 practices or whatever else, and I remember him telling me like, "Nah, I ain't going back out there." Like, why not? He never really gave me the specifics outside of. And my mom was like, "He ain't want it. That basketball shit's one thing. He can run like the look. He can go out there and all get his shit drills he want to. But once you get hit, that shit's a totally different type of vibe." I think he got hit one time. I was like, "I'm done with this shit."
That's why I couldn't imagine going out there right now, right? Like our age right now, putting the pads on, suiting up, putting the mouthpiece in, getting the cleats.
You know what?
Mm-mm.
Look.
Go out there for media day. That's it.
I saw the media day shit. They had like the swirl around joint too. So
yeah.
This is what I'll say. I could see the appeal of signing up for it and doing it for the games. And maybe even like if you the practice or whatever else, the first week of practice. After that, you don't want to do it no more. Because I tell you this right now, once people will get out of the lifting sessions and get to spring football, that first week when all you've been doing is lifting weights, you like the season been over since the winter, like you recovered from all your nicks and wounds and all that kind of stuff. You've been lifting weights. You done put muscle back on because during the season you lose weight in strength because like you're not lifting as much as you used to. And man, you feel good out there that first week. I remember my junior year, spring going to my senior year. I was literally in a competition with my homeboy that I'm going to play in South Carolina named Seaver. The first week we were all basically tallying how many times we got pancakes. He was left tackle, I was right tackle. Throughout the whole way practice, we basically every time we put someone on the ass, count it. So, but after that first week, you see the same dudes. And another thing about it is they don't give you when you have to scrimmage, they don't want to give you a fair look. They just want to cheat because they know the plays, they know your snap count, they're on the same team, every kind of thing. They don't play it fair. Like, okay, if I was Clearwater High School, if I was another school, would I know any of this stuff? Nope. They're like, no, I know the answer all the tests. I'm gonna cheat. And man, and bro, because it's mostly it's first unit versus second unit, right? Yeah. First DB versus second DB is most of the practice, and then depending on whatever else, especially in spring, you'll get ones versus ones. Man, people be sick. You be sick to death of that. Because second unit, I want to impress, so I can get put onto the first for defense or whatever else, or whatever the other unit. Man, you be sick and tired of these motherfuckers, bro. You be sick and tired of them, right? And so they be doing stuff. Be like, hey man, I don't warn you, knock it off, and then that's when fights start because a lot of stuff is like people out here being tryhards, and then you get upset. You get upset with them, and all they doing is their best. You should be doing your best, but you tired. And stuff like that be happening. So I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that dynamic. None of that stuff.
All of a sudden,
as a grown adult, couldn't imagine it.
All of a sudden, you looking up, and it's a nigga that's 6'5", 250 pounds, got you jacked up by the neck while he's wearing a smile.
Wait, you remember when Cam put Josh Norman on his ass before he even knew Josh Norman was?
Talk about.
Oh my god, that was the craziest picture in the world. This man in a red jersey meaning do not touch, and he the one doing. No Diddy, he's the one doing the touching. He is politely escorting future Pro Bowl quarterback to the fucking ground with a smile on his face, with his helmet off. That was nuts. Like people be forgetting like there's some of the traits that happened with Cam. Cam was in a car accident, or a truck accident. His truck flipped over. They caught him from the helicopter when they pull him to the ambulance, they caught him smiling in still pictures, and then that man played like a week later with broken fractures in his back. Like, we don't give Cam enough credit, bro. We don't
at all. But yeah, so if you out there thinking about playing U37 football, don't
do it. Unless you got some good ass insurance at your job, do not do it. And unless you can figure a way to get that, get that turned to workers' comp, like you show up with a fucked up back and all of a sudden you just show up to work and then you just take a bump, unless you can get away with that, dog. Don't do it.
Ain't no way, dog.
Nope.
Yeah, man, that shit really bothers me. Thighs. He said people act like Cam wasn't a great QB because he didn't dive at a fumble. I'm like, look, man, I remember in real time looking at that. I was like, if he would have dove, he would have broken his leg at that angle. There's no way.
If he had dove on it, how many of them helmets would have came right across his helmet? Remember the rematch in the opener the year later when they hit him like in the head like 8 times? Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, like look, I understand.
No one ever thinks about like the angle of the play. And I was like, bro, like his shit would have snapped.
Because they don't want to fuck that. Because they didn't want to give him benefit of the doubt. And also what I also don't like about that is that year, that Broncos defense was one of the greatest defenses of all time. Like, I'm talking like Legion of Boom.
It
good.
Just didn't have no nickname.
Right. Legion of Boom good. And then bro, never mind. I'm not going to get into that, but it's like that defense all-time good. They carry Peyton Manning's bad neck all the way to another title, drug him, and like they don't get credit for it. And like what people talk about is they rather shit on Cam for Cam taking that sorry offensive squad or cast carries outside of Greg Olsen to the Super Bowl, as opposed to being like, yeah, he was incredible, and then he ran into one of the greatest defenses of all time, and defense beats that defense just beat an all-time player in that all-time year. That's what happened. Like, yeah. I'll never forget 2015 Cam Newton. That shit became appointment viewing.
Absolutely. But yeah, man, let's talk about AEW, man. We got, first, shout out to Konosuke and Takeshita winning the G1. Didn't really talk too much about that.
Nasty.
Didn't really talk too much about that.
Nasty.
But, look.
Here's my thing, right? Would the people that have hated every bit of this Forbidden Door build on behalf of feeling like New Japan's been big broed, like, would you have rather, after you saw how upset you were when Evil beat Tsuji, would you have rather Tsuji had just fucking won? I'm not Tsuji, but would you rather if like Evil had just won? Like he beat Tsuji and he beat Takeshita? Would it have made them happier? I don't think it would have. Because like this is like, at least you get to blame Tony Khan for why the houses are down.
Man, they was for sure acting like Evil winning would have made them happy. And I'm like, all right, man, if that's the home team, shit, God bless you.
Yeah, yeah, and like they were touting like the fact. I saw some people tout like, look at the translations. The New Japan fans aren't happy that Takeshi's in, and then you see reading the New Japan fans, the domestic fans saying stuff like he's not even signed to, he's this AEW. What the fuck? And I'm thinking to myself like, bro, this sounds like if, WWE and AEW had a partnership, and an AEW wrestler, let's say it's Will Ospreay or somebody, of that level, Swerve, like they got a shot they win some tournament, they win King of the Ring, and they get to face Cody, and they be like, well, they're not even signed. That's bullshit. It's like, do you want the awesome fucking match? Do you want the awesome opponent in the dome or not? Because like, I don't.
They don't.
Because look, I get I don't watch like they do anymore, right? So I get like you want to see your own guys like this season's finale, whatever. So it's like there is no thing that's going to happen in the main event of Tokyo Dome with Evil and it's going to be better than what Takeshi does. So what's the complaint? Is it just
I don't know.
I don't get that. I don't maybe it's because we're not beholden to any particular promotion that way. So we're just thinking we just want the hottest match we can get, or the best match we can get. Maybe that's the difference. I don't know, but I just find it. They're just like, yo, we don't, why do you want to put him in there? AEW is like, yeah, let's say it was just DDT. You wouldn't rather have Takeshita if it was just DDT than Evil in the Dome main event? What are we talking about?
Look, Takeshita is what all them other young guys are not. They had a chance to do it with Tsuji already. Like, they could have did this last year with Tsuji. They could have pulled the trigger the day he fucking came back from excursion and it would have fucking worked. But they've decided that none of these people are ready or good enough and have not committed to any of them. So at this point, they've had to outsource their fucking G1 winner, and it looks like he's going to win that fucking belt before the Dome, and then do whatever when it comes to the Dome. Like,
he's challenging. He's challenging at Power Struggle, right? Or that's what it seems like.
I don't know, but
or is it even Power Struggle this year? I don't know.
They put Hikuleo over Tsuji in the playoffs 2 years ago. They didn't let Uemura get through. They tried to do this thing where they tried to reverse engineer this reaction because they were scared to just push Takeshita as a babyface and have him have a great match with one of these people and then, go over him. Maybe they didn't want to, necessarily put him over or whatever.
This reminded me of? Remember when they put
one of them Royal Rumbles when Roman Reigns be at the end, and then you put him in there with somebody that like you do not want fucking winning, and then it's like, fuck.
It is that, but I was thinking like it reminded me when they put Nasco in the final of the 2020 Cinderella tournament with Julia. They were like, we're gonna put this person you ain't finna cheer under no circumstance to make sure Julia get all the way over. Like the same thing when it came to Roman Reigns was. It was like, put him in there against Big Show and Kane at the end of the 2015 Rumble, and if you overcome them, because y'all don't want to see him win it, right? So we'll have him throw them two out, and then he'll have a Rock come out there and raise his hand, and he's like, oh my God, Rock got booed.
All that shit is examples of scared money don't make no money. Like, look at them New Japan tours in this G1. They not doing well. So at this point, they're already knee deep in it. They gotta they've made their choices. They've made their commitments. And they gotta see it through, my boy. Like this, I don't know if none of those people are the answer. I don't know if they're counting on Aaron Wolf to be the answer. Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows? But I just think at this point, the New Japan fans that are angry at this, and even the Japanese fans, I don't really have too much for them because they actually go to those fucking shows there and they're on the tours, and I feel like if they don't want to see that, that's fine. But it's like, all right, I always come back to, is this a global company or not? Like, but I
wouldn't even go to that because the motherfuckers are Japanese too. I would say that sounds like just tribalism. And I'm not really, because I know none of y'all actually think that he was a better fucking wrestler than Takeshita. I know y'all. I know you've seen this guy over the last two G1s. Like, knock it the fuck off. It's just a lot of that just comes down to just flat out tribalism. But the part where the Western fans are using that while knowing that that's all that is as proof is like, all right, bro, okay,
yeah.
Look, we've heard for years, House Torture, they do good merch sales, all that, whatever else. Well, all that merch sales apparently ain't putting butts in seats. But they sell merch, amazing. So go figure.
They sell merch to the lesser amount of people that are there. What if they tried the other way around? Let's try to get more people in the building first, then we will see who can sell to that audience. I don't know. Just a thought.
Look, I don't know how they tabulate their gates over there. Leave me out of it.
Some say the yen was down. I don't know.
Oh man.
But yeah, so last night was the go home show for Forbidden Door, and what a kind of a weird show. Building looked great. They sold tons of tickets for it. Looked pretty epic. Kind of a mid show, I would say, in my estimation. Like OG Jimmy P is saying, I think a lot of the mileage on this for me comes down to the MJF and Hangman Page angle that they did, which I feel like they threw a fucking bucket of cold water on the entire feud and pretty much demonstrated why it's not main eventing this show. And everything up to this, awesome. I had no complaints at all. I thought it was, really good. Thought Heyman was like smart baby face, not taking no shit and all that. And then all of a sudden, it's like the creative influence here, like who I can only assume at this point is MJF driving this because it has all the fucking characteristics of MJF's fingerprints going everywhere. And then when I start thinking about Will Ospreay possibly being out, we'll get to Swerve. We'll talk about him possibly missing time. Who do you think is going to fill this vacuum over the next couple months?
I don't know, but I would assume it'd be somebody that wrestles matches, and he don't wrestle matches. So,
but he does TV. Like he's an inning eater. We know what those are. People that are easily programmed on shows or whatever. But I want to talk about this fucking angle that they did. And
all right,
so. Hey, I'm just gonna jump right there. And the Hangman Page versus MJF for this match. Ethan, you just missed us talking about the G1 literally minutes ago. I don't know if it'll allow you to rewind it in real time on there, but run it back for your boy. So they brought Hangman out. So funny thing, Hangman arrived via like train or whatever, and they showed him like walking off the train. And my first thought was like, is this a shot at CM Punk? Like he was out there traveling with with the transit or whatever. I was like, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
That was Scotland. That was, but they were in Scotland. I understand it's the UK, but like England versus Scotland. Also, that's another one of those things I have to question. Right? Another thing I want to question is how many people were not on this show, and it was due to like weird. This was a visa show, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
Like everybody has their shit for England, but not Scotland.
Maybe. They taped a ton of fucking matches for Collision, but they only did 3 matches on the main show.
Right. And then it's like, all right, you didn't see Omega, you didn't see Swerve, you didn't see Okada. It's like, how much of this is just, am I wrong on that? I guess I am. Savage Rogan said they're the same country. I thought that they were different countries that were on the same island.
Look, just take my approach. It's over there. But the thing with the Hangman thing, so Hangman comes out, he was pissed about everything that went with MJF last week, called out MJF. No one came out. All of a sudden, Tony Schiavone said, hey, MJF, he said you need to stay there until he's done with the threat of something bad happening. Earlier in the night, MJF had basically walked up to Ricochet and Gates of Agony and made some kind of deal with them. Hidden camera shows MJF hidden in the building with a tied up Mark Briscoe surrounded by Ricochet and Gates of Agony. MJF poured gasoline on Mark Briscoe and said the only way to stop him from setting on fire was to agree to 3 stipulations for their AEW World Title match. First, the title can change hands by disqualification. Second, it can change hands by countout. And finally, MJF could have the match without executing his Casino Gauntlet contract. And basically said, I'll light his ass on fire, essentially, if you don't give me what I want. And then basically, Paige is like, fuck it, and undoes everything or whatever, like as far as like him outsmarting MJF and driving him crazy the last couple weeks and stuff like that. They flipped it to where it was like, oh, okay, is Hangman dumb? Like, did he believe that he was really gonna murder a man on national television? Didn't they just fucking made this whole thing like and agreed to the match, and then 1 week later they're like, oops, nope, gotcha. It's actually not for the fucking contract. So like people are like, oh, it's setting up a second match. I'm like, why the fuck do I want to see a second match? We haven't even seen a first one yet. So we already know this is gonna be filled with bullshit. The fucking stipulation thing of the championship can change hands on either like where there's no champion's advantage. This has never made one single match better ever. with this stipulation. And where the fuck did they do this stipulation a whole lot of time? Oh, I know. WWE. When did they do that? They did that at WrestleMania 28 with CM Punk and Chris Jericho when it was all this shit about having to, I'm going to draw a disqualification. They did this at WrestleMania 25 with Triple H and Randy Orton. It's the same bullshit. This match is going to be filled with bullshit. And I thought they actively weakened the first program of Hangman Page as a champion when we've had a year of bullshit with this title. And by putting MJF in there, we have allowed the MJFism to poison this shit, essentially. And it's like, what the fuck happened? I tweeted this. Who allowed this? I tweeted, did no one in the room stand up and say this is dumb? I got messages from people in the company that were like, yeah, I agree with you, Rich. Like, so like... It was amazing. I just saw this and I was just like, I was in disbelief, and I saw people defending it, and I saw I'm like, are you fucking crazy? Like this is what we want to see. Oh, and they're talking about, this makes sense with MJF. He's a heel and all this shit. This is consistent with his canon and his character. I'm like, you think I'm talking about character? I'm talking about booking, brother. We're talking about two different things. You had a choice to do this shit, and you could have done something else, but no. We have to do this bullshit with the title, knowing all these people are heading off TV right now, it seems like. Why are we going to make Hangman Page look dumb like this?
I don't think he was made dumb. I thought that he was put up against a barrel and had to make that decision to save someone's life. So I don't necessarily find him to be dumb in that way. Like, I find what happened to CM Punk where he just let himself get cash in on without moving or doing anything. I find that to be dumber than this. Not to make a comparison between CM Punk and Adam Page in that way. I'm just saying, like, as far as just examples of baby faces being made to look dumb, like, that's what I'm getting at. So, for me, like, I hate it because it's like, all right, if you're willing to set someone on fire to get a second title shot, just in case you don't win the first one, why don't you just say, vacate the belt and hand it over to me, or I'll burn him alive then? Why not go further? Why not just guarantee, why not just guarantee that you have the belt as opposed to, I have to go into the ring and fight to get it twice? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the whole MJF's character. He's so smart, he's maniacal genius. Like, okay, if he's such a maniacal genius, why don't you just say, hey, and also, like, he's very big on not wanting to fight. It would be in his character to say, I'll burn him alive, just relinquish the title and give it to me. This is the kind of nothing appealing about this. When you take it to this level of, I'll fucking murder him if you don't give in to my demands, I'm a terrorist on national television. Like, that's where you go, like, all right, why don't you go further? Like, so for me, it's like, I hated it. And, like, you didn't have to go through all this to get a second match. Like, there are other ways to get a second match out of this without doing this. They could have
just they could have did some kind of disputed finish, or they could have did, like, we probably would have hated that, too. Keep it a stack.
I would have hated less than this.
Oh, absolutely. And it was like, all right, you could have lost the match and then came out and just, well, all right, I'm going to cut the promo of my life and set up a second match or whatever.
Right.
Like, whatever, all right. Y'all have had fucking 2 matches or a match earlier this year.
Or
Heyman already won that one.
Here's another one. Do the match. MJF loses. Next Dynamite. Grab Mark Briscoe and say, I want a rematch or I set him on fire.
Right. Do the thing without the briefcase.
Duh!
Like, they're actively pissed on their pay-per-view sales, I would imagine, with this. Like, people are just so turned off with this angle. It's like, keep the shit, like, cooking the way it was, or whatever, and then use it. It's like, the briefcase is fucking fake. Like, you can do whatever you want with it. Like, it's not a shoot briefcase, bro.
Here's the thing that bothers me about it is, do I think that MJF is going to win this title back? No. So, there is nothing you can do they give me the fear that, oh my God, this is going to change hands and they got the second one. Like, he's going to punt it the same way that, like, Christian punted it. So, like, this doesn't, maybe I'm overthinking for my own good, but it's like, this doesn't move me in the way it should move, if you're watching the show and you're watching in good faith. Like I'm just like, oh, they're not gonna just give the belt to MJF this quickly. No.
So loosely related to MJF, but obviously the Hurt Syndicate and MJF had an alliance that is no longer happening. The plug was pulled from this act hastily weeks ago. We've been kind of making hints that this Hurt Syndicate shit really ain't been working most of the year on this show.
Yep.
But this whole thing with MJF and the Hurt Syndicate was a chronic waste of time.
Yeah.
And it was, I saw the Hurt Syndicate on Dynamite last night they walked back quickly. They came out there and like, oh yeah, I'm rocking this gear. This is like my last day in the territory gear. I ain't really putting on nothing fly or whatever. Like, there's a stark difference. They've been iced from TV the last couple of weeks. Like, you've seen it. Like when they unplugged this shit with MJF, right? MJF had to go move on and do some other shit. You wonder why he's running around with Gates of Agony now, right? And then you see from there, lost my train of thought. Jet Speed. They're immediately working with Jon Moxley. They're immediately mixing it up and with the Death Riders and the Young Bucks and different stuff like that. Yep. Like they're doing something else now, right? Like, oh, we're gonna keep lifting these guys up. Where have the Hurt Syndicate been? Off TV. It feels like this is the last match in the promotion for them coming on Sunday. Write it down. I do not believe you will see these gentlemen again.
Well, and I was 100% with you until I saw that the match is not eliminations. Now I'm figuring out like how they gonna get shoulders to match.
They'll find a way.
Okay,
they will find a way.
Hold on. Now I know, there's a possibility that they lose, right? There's a non-zero chance that someone gets pinned in Hurt Syndicate. But what I'm not willing to say is that there is a non-0% chance that Bobby Lashley's getting pinned.
Absolutely the fuck not.
If anyone's getting beaten in Hurt Syndicate, it will be Shelton Benjamin.
This is incredible, quite frankly, and this has fell apart with them so quickly. And the whole thing with MJF and MVP breaking up and the creative differences stuff and everything like that. Yeah, that's what it was. Like, and it basically came down to, well, who was going to win at the end with this? And who do you think? And they wasted like 7 months building this up and then dissolved the shit in 2 weeks. They robbed us of our time. They stole television time from Turner Broadcasting Systems doing this, James. They should have to reimburse like us for this shit.
Look, while I will say this, I'm of the opinion that not everything in on a pro wrestling show has to be for me. The live crowds love this shit. And granted, there's a lot of that stuff that's happened with MJF over the career. Like, the Brochacho shit it's over with live crowds. It ain't over with people that I respect their opinions of pro wrestling. So like this is more the same. Like MJF does this, and look, in 3 months it'll be something else.
And MJF's gonna skate on the MJF Hurt Syndicate thing because, like, obviously the Hurt Syndicate had all.
He's gonna still be around. That's why.
Not want to do business, and we've seen like the three ways already stuff. We've seen them completely eating up baby faces on the mic and generally being difficult to work. And in the ring, basically getting banished from the singles division and into the tag division because that's what the fuck it was. Nobody wants to work with them. We saw all the people who've avoided them forever until the last minute.
Oh, that's I got another add to that, right? FTR has kind of been in our good graces ever since they beat the fuck out of Copeland, right? I remember at the time I said, you know what? After they put that beat down on Copeland when he came back, might have to give him that 8th star, brother. So
hold on, they already won these belts.
No, I'm saying, but they
know how they do it.
No, it's title reigns. It's not number which world title you get. Is what title reigns you get from world title, right? Yeah. So, but anyway,
oh no.
But anyway, I remember, talking to a big FTR friend and may be able to talk and send some messages to FTR and say, hey man, they need to steer clear. This ain't what they want. And I find it quite interesting that like, yeah, they're gonna add a third team and the third team is gonna have Brody King in it in case some shit don't go the way it's supposed to go. So look, be like, hey, you know, Bobby Lashley, there's some buff neck niggas over there, bro. So you know what we gonna do?
Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free. Select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams. One coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3.
If shit go left,
we need a little bit of insurance in here.
Look, 4v2. And one of these niggas gonna be Brody King.
That's funny as fuck.
Now,
that's great.
Now, I would like, given I'm making this joke, right, I would like to talk about Bearcat Wright and Jean LaBelle, and I would now request that Brody King keep the ski mask on the whole match.
Yeah. The whole match.
Wait, was it Bearcat Wright? Who was? No, it was a Bearcat Wright. Who was it?
No, it
Arnie
was
Lane. Arnie Ladd. It was Arnie Ladd, right?
Yeah, hold on. So Ethan said, bro, I only watch AEW when it comes to major pay-per-views, NJ related. So from an outsider perspective, I'm looking at this as a free defense where the King or Bandito will take an L. And if Bandito takes the L, it'll speak volumes of position. Yeah, he's the Ring of Honor world champion and like one of the 3 best wrestlers of the year right now.
Yeah, I mean, Brody King ain't he'll do jobs. So you really don't know who will get pinned between them two.
Yeah. So like they basically do this 30-minute draw. It got tons of praise from people. I thought it was a good match.
I was going to bring that up.
I thought it was a good match, but I thought it was like, I started so slow. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then once they started making the time calls, I was like, oh, this is what they're doing. And then it was like, they're doing a fucking 3-way. So I'm like, how the fuck do you do an entire tournament and then you have no winner at the end? Like, it's just more goofy shit that you have to do to accommodate for what these champions have been. They were disappeared and zapped literally off of television. And that, like, to me screams like, okay, we're not committing any more TV time to you. Just show up, do the business with the belts, and then snip. Yep. I think this is it. And quite frankly, like holla, like, you know, it would like whatever didn't work, you know, like you know, it feels like the Hurt Syndicate had this idea that they wanted to do their business a certain way, and they wanted to have be at a certain level in the company. But that level, like, wasn't...
Because they can't wrestle that level.
Like, they can't wrestle to that level. And, like, this is not WWE at the end of the day. No matter where, like, you think, you know, like, what you're doing, like, you could easily... Like, I once heard about MVP from someone who shall remain nameless. He has tons of great advice. It's just not when you're working with him. Like... So it's like he can tell you how to navigate the business, but like when it comes to you working with them and the Hurt Syndicate, you not getting shit. Like, so it's like it's bad, man. Like, and it's just like it's unfortunate because you know you would think these guys would actually get it. They know it ain't no WWE waiting for you on the other side, or maybe they still think WWE is waiting for them on the other side, where you got to fucking work. Look, we know the booker's not going to push you there. But I guess, you know, Lashley is like one of these types is if you're not using them at the top, where are you using them?
Yep.
But man, I sure thought, you know, when he was doing that initial program with Swerve, I thought that was a good use of him. But
yeah,
I guess he wasn't immediately going to the championship. So
yep. So Rich,
things got messed up.
So, are you ready for TNA to become the official number 2 in this country off the back of Bobby Lashley versus Killer Cross. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that?
That is sick. Didn't they do that at WrestleMania in like a 3-way match or a 6-man tag or some shit? It was like Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits against like Cross and like 2 other guys. It was like the last WrestleMania, the one in Philadelphia.
Gross.
Yeah, it was like a tables match or some shit. But yeah, get the Hurt Syndicate out of this company, 80%, all that. Like it, got to go. They done stunk it up too much. It didn't work.
Yeah, didn't work. Like, and it could have, but they didn't. They did not want to have matches like that. That more fit with what the company is going for. It's just been a styles clash. So yeah.
And think about when you got to work with the Hurt Syndicate. That's a lot of falling on your damn back and neck.
Yeah. So what's the match? All right. We okay. So have you ever watched Joshi where you have a veteran versus a young girl? Yeah. We're gonna do that. That's the match. But that's not. No. But fuck. All right. And that's basically what it was. Whether it was Brian Keith getting his ass whooped, whether it was
Private Party.
Truth Magnum and Outrunner Turbo, whatever the fuck, they got their ass whooped. Like, that's just the match. Like, we finna whoop your ass. We'll give you, you know, a hot tag. We'll cut off the hot tag and pin you, and then you know.
And all in the promos, MVP will bury you, and all the promos leading up to the match.
Yeah. You won't put over nothing. Yeah, so it's like, all right, man. Cool.
I don't anticipate on seeing the Hurt folks around much longer. So, all right, let's talk about the rest of this show. Now that I got those things removed.
You know what the fucked up part is? Like, given what those matches are, like the matches are going to probably outdo the builds. But it's like, MJF and Adam Page, you were so close. You were so close. All you had to do was land the plane. And you couldn't get the fucking wheels out. So the match got to say that what you fucked up just last night. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then now they got to have the match around these weird fucking stipulations. Like, is this going to be MJF trying to get himself slapped by somebody outside the match or something so he gets disqualified or some bullshit?
Yeah.
So, lights out steel cage match is going to be Will Ospreay.
Are you ready for when he like fucks with Bryce Remsburg and then he pushes Bryce and then Bryce shoves him to the ground and he say, "Hey, that's a DQ."
Yeah. Put your hands on
some nasty shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. So we got the lights out steel cage match headlining this show. Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, Darby Allin, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Will Ospreay, who basically revealed that he needs neck surgery and is going to be gone for quite a while. Potentially, that whole story is still kind of breaking. And they're taking on Death Riders, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, the Young Bucks, and Gabe Kidd. So about Will, man, unfucking fortunate if he's a neck surgery victim. That's like a year, some are saying. And, you know, he's going into this match this week to basically, you know, the last time we're probably going to see him for a while. Maybe there's a little bit of old work as the new work here. Mm-hmm. With like, you know, how bad is it? But, you know, we do know, like, obviously this guy's been beat to hell. Yeah. He hasn't been.
I thought he'd be in a wheelchair by now. So,
yeah. So you know, the whole thing is like it's an unsanctioned match or whatever. And
yeah, that's the reason why I'm skeptical. I'm like, how severe is this exactly? Because it's like he's cutting his promo saying that like I'm not cleared, but lights out matches are unsanctioned, so it's good to go. It's like, all right, so now we're blending real life with, because obviously, like, if he wasn't really clear medically, there has to be no, you're sitting down, you can't play or you can't wrestle. So
right.
So how bad is this really? So, you know, and also you got Matt Jackson and Kenny Omega around, and they worked Meltzer for years with their injuries. So it's like now it's just like, all right, I haven't listened to.
Have you think? Do you think they sat Will down? Was like, all right, so here's your next lesson. Like, this how you gonna work, Dave?
Could very well be, because like, you know, I haven't listened to it yet, but like I imagine Meltzer's like, it's really bad. You know, he's like, you know, because that's you know, what did Tunnel Talk said that Ospreay is Meltzer's special guy. So like, yeah. I bet he down in the dumps right now.
Man, good reason. This guy's fucking excellent.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, he is. I'm just saying, like, once you cut a promo like that, and don't get me wrong, it was one of those Rock promos where it's like, I'm at this place, I've been to this place before, I'm going to name drop landmarks or whatever else to get the crowd to pop. When he mentioned that restaurant, the crowd lost it. I was like, yep. But I just saw him doing the whole thing. I'm just like, okay. Until you said the part about like you not medically clear, but you can do this because unsanctioned is like, all right, okay, all right, this is gonna be your last match for a while. But whatever you got going on ain't that severe. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to wrestle this match. They would have actually said no to you for real.
The War Dogs ran out on Dynamite. All the collection of gentlemen that rolled with Gabe Kidd,
huge pop.
Clark Connors, Drilla Maloney, yeah,
gigantic pop.
Over
80s Hogan.
They had a big brawl. They carried Darby Allin out. I knew he was in the fucking zip bag or whatever.
Yes, I was dying the whole time. And like, they think that's fucking.
They think that's Marina. So, Darby gets out the fucking bag. They had this huge fucking brawl. Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi don't bother showing up. Hiroshi Tanahashi runs out slowly to come out there to whoop ass and save the whole thing. They do like a 6-man tag and all that, and Tanahashi ends up getting the win with the high fly flow.
We gotta add Tanahashi to the list of you coming out to make the save and you out here getting your whole fucking interest in instead. Gotta add him. Got
to.
Rhea Ripley,
gotta get the music played.
Jeff Hardy. Yeah, he went out. Look, he did everything but the skip and the spin. Everything but the skip and the spin.
That man pointed at the music man like this. Hit the music. I'm not going out until they know. Like,
oh man.
But I'm ready for Hiroshi Tanahashi to run the razor. I'm ready for the high fly flow. He look good to go to me.
Oh yeah.
This is the last time you're gonna be in the UK. You in a steel cage match. Tanahashi's gonna go crazy. Now Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. I'll leave Ibushi out because we don't know where the fuck Ibushi's head at. Or you want to say something?
Look, we talking about how last week I was like, that looks like that. This past year's Olympic team, when it's like you got four future Hall of Famers and you got a guy that's headed there with Darby, right? As far as like being a great wrestler, and it's like seeing how look, I ain't seen or heard from Kota Ibushi. I ain't seen or heard from Kenny Omega. Ospreay got a bad neck, and Tanahashi ran down like that. Is like, was this an Olympic team or was this the '96 Rockets?
Bitch, you don't.
Look, both got legends on the team. Old legends, old beat up, tired legends. Boy, we'll see. We will see. I think the match is going to be great because it's a cage match and it's 10 people, so it's all there's.
I think they're going to have an expanded. They're going to have an expanded size cage too. Rumor
okay.
I'm hearing.
Okay, I haven't even thought about that, but cool. But like my whole thing is like there's going to be so much, so many opportunities to do things to where it's like not everything is like built on someone like really hurting themselves. That's how to like a high spot here and there. So I think match still going to be great, but I just, thinking about it is like, man, a lot of these niggas old and hurt.
Yeah. Good to see Kenny Omega is alive. He lost the fifth match of the greatest in-ring rivalry of all time. And we just hadn't heard from him for weeks and weeks. We don't know how he felt about that loss or anything like that. So good to see he was known to be alive, apparently, in a advertisement via graphic or whatever. Oh, love to see that. But yeah, as far as the match, man, if Will Ospreay is going to be out injured, shit, and he's going away.
Should Death Riders write him off TV?
I mean, they kind of already did once before the.
Give
him the final ride.
Are they gonna get that? Are they gonna get that Ziploc and put over that nigga head and kill him? Like how they did Danielson.
Look, you know what I could go for? What if Kenny turned on him?
Given the Callis thing that happened at the beginning of the year, I mean, is Kenny Omega going to be available to wrestle when Ospreay comes back? Should we even do that?
Yeah, I don't know. What if Tanahashi turns on him? No, I'm playing.
Fuck, you should have never left.
Right. But like, you got, man, Golden Lords and Young Bucks are on the others opposite. So much history in this match. Damn. Wish they could have fleshed it out more, but those be the breaks. Three-way tag match elimination. So, all right. Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin versus Brody King and Bandito versus FTR. Three-way elimination championship match. If it was me, I'm eliminating Hurt Syndicate off the fucking rip. Like, we're getting new champions, and then basically Brody King and Bandito and FTR can finish a match that they had over the joint. Do it like ECW back in the day. Get them the fuck out of here before the match even finishes, and then let them niggas go crazy.
Okay, so in this theory, it's almost like a elimination chamber when a monster's in there, and you just everybody hits their finish on one guy and pins him.
Let's jump them.
I think that's kind of the only way you could do it, right?
That's probably why they're doing it like that. They'll be like, all right, Bobby Lashley gets knocked out the ring, and then 4 niggas jump on Shelton Benjamin. It took 4 niggas to put us down. Like, it's going to be some kind of nastiness. Like I just wonder what it'll be.
So, like, Gonzo bomb into a 21-plex into the big rig, get him out.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Everyone hits your finishers.
That's nasty.
And then everybody pops, and then they send them away, and then the real match happens.
Actually, no, it would be a big rig into a 21-plex into the Gonzo bomb. Yeah. That's how that would work. Yeah, because like it'd be like, all right, he gets hit with the big rig, and all of a sudden he just gets up and goes to the ropes, and then he just catches the 21-plex. I think that makes more sense than the other way around. Yo. But whatever.
Hangman Page versus MJF for the World Championship. If Hangman is counted out or disqualified, he will lose the title. Like I said, a stipulation that has never improved a single match. I thought Hangman and MJF had a lot of great momentum going into this, and they threw a big bucket of cold water on it. And these guys are good enough wrestlers to figure it out. It's just that stipulation is handicapping and kind of like obviously a sign they're doing more matches. And it's like, I don't want to know you're necessarily doing more matches before I even see the first one.
Yeah. It feels like,
and y'all know what I mean. Like, obviously, I know they wrestled earlier this year. I mean, of the championship.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, like, it feels like this is MJF's his claim to be like, I'm trying to get a feud of the year contender this year. Like, or like, this is my feud of the year contender. Like, it was gonna be Mark Briscoe. So yeah, I think the match is gonna be great. Obviously, the finish will come down to will be the most important thing in this. But like, I have no doubts about both of them in the ring together with each other.
Yeah. Singles match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nigel McGuinness, who will be managed by Daniel Garcia, and the armbar off. So
why you always do this to Zack Sabre Jr. and he come to Forbidden Door and be awesome? How many times I got to Forbidden Door and be awesome? Like, outside of Ospreay, is there another person that's been better in Forbidden Door than Zack Sabre Jr.?
I don't know. I had to look at it.
Yeah.
I would probably say, and they even got an armbar man ringside for this one. So it's like, are they gonna have Danielson on commentary too?
What?
So they gonna have an armbar man on the commentary too?
Well, they had an armbar guy on commentary for Dynamite when they had Danielson out there. But you ain't saying that shit then because you like Danielson.
So
you nasty. It ain't actually about whether they technical wrestlers. It's do you like him or not? You nasty. But yeah, man.
This is Bret Hart versus Jerry Lawler.
No, it's not.
Get the commentator in the ring, you get the title shot. Easy win. For the champion.
This match would be
the same thing here.
This match would be so much better than that. Okay, so this is what I'll say. What match? Do you remember what match it was? What like third, fourth, or fifth? That Jungle Boy versus Sonata match was 2 years ago.
It went on fourth.
Fourth. Does this match go on third or fourth?
Fourth.
I think so too.
We need Bryan Danielson doing the Nigel McGuinness hate machine. Like we need the commentary reverse.
That would be amazing.
Like, we need Danielson burying Nigel the whole time. Be like, he's cheating, ref. He's awful. He sucks.
The best part about it is he would do all that shit while I'm laughing the whole time because he's like, I'm such a fucking ham.
He needs to be like, hey, Danielson, you all right? I hate the guy.
The two ways it will work is
kill him, Zach.
If one, he was like, actually doing all that while laughing his ass off the whole time, like screw Nigel. Or two, he's actually like very complimentary and nice about Nigel the whole way. He'd be like, wow, Nigel's really a dick because Danielson likes him. There's only two comedic ways to go about this. So yeah, man.
I think it would also be funny if like Danielson's trying to play it straight, but it just like it starts slipping through or whatever.
The mask starts slipping.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Some people think Daniel Garcia can turn on Nigel after this, and then it would be like Danielson's like trying to get Garcia off of Nigel. That would be interesting. I don't know. There's a lot going on. All I know is somebody will lose to an arm bar in this bitch.
There you go.
In some type of way.
I don't know what to do with Garcia in this. I saw someone made the point is like, he like this is year 4 and he's still like getting young boy. And I was like, yeah. I was like, but then again, maybe he's just on the Kenta Kobashi track. That's all. Maybe they say, you know what? It's gonna take you a decade to get there.
Damn. Oh man. So if it wasn't Nigel McGuinness, is there anybody you think you would have wanted to see fight Zach that is not necessarily plugged in right here?
Oh, Hechicero. I was rooting for Hechicero to win that shit. I know they've done their matches, elsewhere, whatever, but like, run. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Hechicero is absolutely sort of indoor shit.
I wonder, like, what would have eased the New Japan fans? Whose head did they want for this one?
Swerve, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Swerve's probably going to lose to a Japanese guy.
That is true, but he's not their Japanese guy.
I know he's not theirs anymore. But it's like, well, if the yen was up, maybe he would still be.
Never know. Singles match for the TNT belt: Kyle Fletcher versus Hiromu Takahashi. I think for one night, Hiromu will turn the clock back, and he will have an incredible match with Kyle Fletcher, who has nothing but incredible matches at this point, and will be a high quality addition to this show in the vein of like an Ospreay Orange Cassidy type match.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be exactly look. I don't think I'm not expecting it, but like I wouldn't be shocked if Hiromu and Fletcher had a better match than Hangman and MJF, just because like one might go too long and one might have a finish that makes it piss off everybody. As opposed to, it's those two and they just go out there and just have a laser light show? Yeah.
16 minutes and then wrap it up.
Right.
So we've also got Kazuchika Okada versus Swerve
Seth
Strickland.
Rogen is right. That's a very good comment. Fletcher's about to have a very big fall. Yeah. He could easily step into the power vacuum with all these people injured.
Yeah. Kazuchika Okada versus Swerve Strickland, AEW Unified Championship match. The news kind of had broke about it, and I kind of talked around this last week on the show when we were talking about Swerve, and they brought up his knee injury. This is a real deal thing with it. I don't know exactly the mechanics. I don't typically ask too much what's going on, but I can confirm that he was working with the Jaguars medical staff, and this is a long lingering injury. This is like around the time I first kind of met Swerve. Like this happened, I remember him taking some time off from that, and I was just talking to him today, and I was just like, man, like when the news of it started breaking, like we were talking, I was like, think about it, everything that you've changed your life literally in the time that you've been working with this injury or whatever, and it was like he's like, he had no time to think about it or whatever, just like had to do what he had to do to like essentially make his career or whatever. So I thought it was like really kind of admirable of him to think. I just try to give him a different way to think about it. Like, what did you do these last 5.5 years? And it's like, change your goddamn life. So like, become a main eventer, sign a one of the largest contract extensions in the history of wrestling, become like the premier star at a show that sold over 50,000 seats in Wembley Stadium. Just accomplished so much. And if he's going away after this match, he's obviously earned time off, but it would be awesome to see him fully healthy if this is what he was doing, while on a bad wheel, essentially. As far as the build with him and Okada, I don't really think there was like, too much. Like they kept this pretty straightforward.
Yeah, they did.
So I'm expecting Okada to retain. I think there's too much, smoke here. I'd be shocked if it went the other way, but I think Okada's obviously going to be, like he's coming off the Kenny match. He's going to want to have another good match, and Swerve's not going to want to go away. Like I think if this is the last thing he does for a while, he's going to want to leave fans with a high impression of himself.
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, like outside of was it World's End or was it Revolution? When did Swerve get his title shot against Moxley?
Dynasty,
that's right, because 1 year anniversary thing. Yeah, they were teasing that. Yeah, like not since Dynasty's like the only time there's been a big match of Swerve where I've been like, disappointed would be the word or whatever else. So, I expect him and Okada go out there and have a great match. Now, obviously there's going to be obviously some shenanigans, but they talk about the rules, but who knows? We playing fast with we've been playing with these rules for a while. Like look at the world title scene. Look at what were they doing with Edge and Christian and FTR with the restraining order thing a few weeks ago? Like they playing with these rules, so who knows?
Got a question from King of the North. So Tony Khan had brought something up today about possibly wanting to do Swerve versus Yota Tsuji for the belt at Forbidden Door last year. So King of the North had said with the quote about him wanting to do Swerve versus Tsuji and that getting changed, what does Swerve think of Huge Suge? I remember when Yota Tsuji was like first kind of catching fire, I was actually sending Swerve some stuff like about him. Before I wasn't sure if he was aware of him or not, but I remember him thinking he was pretty cool, just the way he was coming off, and the interviews that he was putting out, kind of like the style, like the aura about him. And I remember I'll give you guys some inside baseball. I talked to somebody asked me that worked for AEW, like what you so they how do I say this? Okay, so probably like not. Before last year, Swerve was the champion going into Forbidden Door, and obviously ended up being Swerve versus Will Ospreay. Before that, I'd been asked my opinion on who, if there was guys from New Japan, who would you, want to see, in there who would be a good person, just making recommendations or whatever. And Tsuji was one guy I suggested, and then Ishii was going to be like a 4-way or something like that. Didn't end up playing out that way, but it looks like that pitch went elsewhere or whatever, went up. I don't know how it all works. And Swerve and Tsuji, I guess, the way the report was written, somebody said they might not have think it would have been beneficial for Swerve at that time. I would probably agree with that. Like, I was more thinking along the lines of doing something cool.
Was, like, we all knew that Samoa Joe was a transitional champion. Him being able to put Swerve or Ospreay's hand on a mantle meant something.
Yeah. And also, like, Yota Tsuji just for the belt coming to main event, like, who's going to wear that buy rate when, like, if it wasn't successful? Swerve was going to have to wear that. So I think somebody was like, we're not going to do that. So, like, could that match happen in the future? Oh, shout out Miss Warren Hayes. And I think the deal with
wait a second.
Swerve.
You said Warren Hayes? Yeah, okay. Our brother in grouchiness is here.
If y'all haven't seen Miss Warren Hayes bury the hell out of Adam Copeland,
I have it saved. I haven't watched it yet. I have it saved, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. It was like a week ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't this week. It was like
when it was like there's some hoes in the house or whatever. Like, so I think a Swerve and Tsuji match could still happen one day. I think it would be fire, cool. and hopefully it does. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
Even Sabre Jr. New Japan really badly needs a rivalry with some young lion lower level person at the pay-per-view, but no Japanese talent on the card. Looks like they will benefit from this. It's just an AEW pay-per-view with a couple free eats. Yeah,
it is.
It kind of ended up like that this year, partly because of the schedule. Like, obviously, the G1's going on, and it all comes back to Coldplay because they had the date apparently for years and years.
Do you think people are taking account of that? Of like, this would only be in June, but instead, because we had to switch it around, like it's in August right now.
People aren't thinking about that at all. Most stuff like with the New Japan and AEW is a lot of sour grapes, unfortunately, I think. And obviously you would like to see more guys, more of the Japanese guys getting in there, but it's like these spots on these shows, like, could you have thrown a tag team into that, made it a 4-way match? Sure, you could have been like, hey, there's a designated spot for a team that's coming over. Hey, like, Rich. Fucking yeah, go ahead.
What do they could have put FWC in there.
You stupid. Like, they'd be like, yeah, you fucking Taichi and somebody, whatever, has a spot in here that hurt. Like, you could have done things like that. They just didn't happen to do that. But Persephone and Bozilla is very inspired, in my opinion, joining the TBS title match with Mercedes Moné and Alex Windsor. I would have loved to see Oleg Boltin, like, on the show as well. Eventually, you got, I think, to continue to have the name of it be viable. I know Forbidden Doors, like, it's an established IP. The show does well every year. It's like, why would you change everything? Their strategy seems to be working. Right. So, like, eventually you got to start opening the door a little more. But if Gato can't even push these guys in their home promotion properly, I don't think they're going to get much booking respect on, like, a very competitive show to get on.
Yeah, it's a reality. It's like the New Japan guys became AEW guys. And the new crop of New Japan guys have not reached level on the marquee for international outside of Japan for them to be able to be like, that's going to draw on a card. No, it's not saying that Tsuji won't, it doesn't have the potential to be a legend. It's not saying that, like, Shota might be able to get himself out this bad predicament he's in. It's not to say that, like, Yamura won't eventually, like, stop getting fucked by the booker. It's not to say none of that. It's where we are. This is reality. And, like,
and I think there's also an argument, like, to protect those guys from sending them out there too early in some cases. Like, I know some of these guys have worked pre-shows at Forbidden Door and stuff like that, but if you can bring them in kind of at a higher level, like if you can save a Yuya Uemura to the point where it means something, If you can get Tsuji up in New Japan to where when you bring him over, it really means something. He's not buried on a pre-show. I think it's more beneficial in that way.
And we got to be real. Like, all these champions, for the most part, are all keeping their belts. In these interpromotional matches,
yep,
champions keeping their belts. This is getting a good win versus a quality opponent that's not a champion on the other side. Like, so, do you want to send Tsuji over to get his ass kicked? Do you want, eat a pin. You know what I mean? Like, do you want to send the other three, Musketeers over? So that's what you're up against. And it's like, there's just a lot. They have not replaced the star power they've lost over the last decade because that was all-time roster.
How could you?
That's all-time roster. And also, it's like, you don't even want to you're sending Ishii over to America so he's not even in the G1 anymore. So,
yeah, I'm just glad ain't nobody asking why Evil ain't on the show. Tony Khan pretty much ruled that out right there.
Well, we found out about that, even though, like, me and Rich have talked about that for years now. Like, we've been knowing that, like, he is not fond of House of Torture. He was never bringing them over. They were never coming through the forbidden door.
No.
They never did. So it was like, okay, how many years in a row does this happen until you realize, like, oh, that's just what it is? Now, people are now doing the whole, I think they moved on from the Mercedes is booking herself stuff to, like, Tony Khan is booking New Japan now. So I think that's the next conspiracy is going to this.
Man.
So it's like, nah, man, like, ain't nobody, Tony Khan don't want Evil on his show. Like I said, he tried to sell buy rates.
Toriano not making the shows.
Bro,
yeah.
Look, no disrespect to them, but the point is this: if you are, chances are, if you are a non-domestic New Japan fan, or you're a non-domestic fan of New Japan, and people, he can look at Twitter and see what the reaction is to Evil. He can also watch the matches and know what his reaction is to Evil. He could, he's been to the Dome and been to Dome shows. Like, he's been and he's probably like, oh, Evil was like the 20th best worker on this card. If that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, he might not have that. Be like, look, it's not for me. And also, I know that, like, when people want to see New Japan versus AEW or whatever, or see New Japan wrestlers, and they're not, New Japan fans on the ground in Japan, they don't want to see no damn Evil. Like, I know there are, like, a handful of y'all that they enjoy, like, House of Torture and Hate and all that shit. It's like, that's not most people. Those people enjoy, like, better wrestling or non-shitty wrestling, non-cheap shtick wrestling. It is what it is.
Like Mike said, did Takeshi get hurt during the G1? Not to my knowledge. I heard there was something going on, but he filmed a match with Ishii for Collision. I heard it was incredible. That is going to air on Saturday.
Saturday, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, that's it. Is it running normal time?
Yep.
Might have to pull that up on the phone. Okay.
What else? Ladies matches. Timeless Toni Storm versus Athena. This is perhaps the most up in the air match of the show. I think this will go either way. Athena has obviously been built up for a very long time.
Yep.
And I think one thing about Toni Storm that I've kind of enjoyed is it seems like it's like, all right, how long is she going to keep fighting them off? And it seems like every person that's up from this point forward could feasibly be the one.
Yeah.
And she could win too. So, like, I'm almost this a pick 'em for me.
Up until they started doing the interactions of Mercedes and Toni Storm, I thought Athena had a good shot at this. It feels to me like they are plotting like a soon rematch between Mercedes and Toni Storm, where Mercedes gets her win back and gets her millionth belt. Because, like, some of these interactions between Athena and Toni and Mercedes seems like this is unresolved between Mercedes and Toni, and Mercedes wants her fucking win back, or she wants fix her blemish in her AEW record. In the face, she's making she look sad as fuck. Like, yeah, I think there's something there. But if I didn't have that, that little like a thought worm in my head, I would be like, yeah, Athena could definitely get it. And also, I want to point this out. Athena on AEW television, she has shown and proved that it's been ridiculous. She's been on Ring of Honor for this long. Every time she shows up, she's wrestling her ass off. So, I expect this to be a great match. I'm not saying that it's going to be as good as the Mercedes match was, and All in Texas for Toni Storm, but I think like she's going to basically have 2 back-to-back classics. I think that's what we have in store. 2 back-to-back classics.
Yeah, I'm slightly leaning towards Toni. Mercedes is in a 4-way, and if anything is going to get belts off of Mercedes, 4-ways or multi-person matches, they are definitely a threat. She already lost that New Japan Strong belt in one. I could easily see Alex Windsor sneaking Persephone or something like that. Persephone and Bozilla in there. I think it's funny. Bozilla is in here. I thought she was. Imagine this does not make Rossy Ogawa happy.
Yeah, she made the switch over earlier this year. Yeah.
Mercedes Monet and Bozilla is going to be fucking hilarious. Yes, I can imagine. I think Bozilla is going to do very well.
Oh, please. We saw her first match in Japan. Remember that tag match with her and Julia and Sari and Utami? That shit was awesome. Like, look, don't change anything. Just do what she do what she does. And like,
she needs to roar at Mercedes, and then Mercedes be like, if Mercedes sells for her, it's a wrap.
Bro, I would look. Is there any way? But we get that match. That's cool. Whatever. Is there any way we can get like a little collision match between before she leaves? We get like a Bozilla and Megan Bain little collision match. Any chance we can get that
preview?
Yeah,
bro, they wrestled each other at fucking Joey Janela's spring break. I
know. I couldn't bring myself to watch. Just pull it up to watch. I was like, I can't do. I can't. I want to watch it, but I can't. I just can't.
Oh, can we see Julia Hart against Bozilla? I want to see something real quick.
Nah, send her to WWE. Have her face live.
Yeah. Oh man,
I know you're trying to say.
I'll break her over the knee real quick, But also one last match I forgot. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage are reuniting. They're facing Kip Sabian, and Luchasaurus is back. Bro. Apparently, Nick Wayne broke his foot. Sorry for Nick Wayne. That fucking sucks. But Christian and Cope are gonna win. Not much.
They were gonna win if Nick Wayne had been healthy.
Yeah, that's true.
Bro. We talked about nasty.
Bozilla versus the Dentist. King of the North, you nasty. Bozilla versus the Dentist.
Look, we talked about like the nastiness of the possible transfer of getting the world tag team belts off of Hurt Syndicate and onto presumably FTR. Well, if FTR is a champion, who do you think they're going to face?
Oh yeah,
right. So, Nick Wayne had no chance. In fact, we need to. Can I see the X-rays? What do you like? Look, I learned this from my dad before he passed away. If I'm about to get fucked, I'm out of here. I gotta broke my foot. I can't medically unable to perform. Can't do it. Hurt. Yeah. But yeah, man. The Copeland and Christian thing. One thing I will say is, Christian is so much smarter than Copeland. You saw how he's like, I changed absolutely nothing and got a pop. He is absolutely finding a way to like stay over and all the what do you call it? Big league stuff. I'm about to
conduct my business.
Yeah, like all the big league type stuff that we're like, we're putting at Copeland, he's making sure like I'm staying far enough away where none of that shit get rubbed onto me. Even though I did the whole cash-in thing, even though I did that match with Swerve and London 2 years ago, and he took the piss out of me. Like, yeah, man. Christian's figured out to be like, I'm just gonna stay. I'm just below the lane of suspicion, the line of suspicion, where people's the intent goes up in that way. To be like, hey, man, what's going on here?
Christian Cage, all-time politician.
Yeah.
Let it be known.
Yeah, he has finessed the game immaculately. But yeah, man, like they was out here saying that like we might be the greatest tag team ever, and I was like,
I'm saying, bro, like I don't know about you, but I get triggered when I hear that shit like going on in this company when the Young Bucks are still doing what the Young Bucks are doing. Like,
were you upset
just when anybody else says this?
Were you upset with Danielson when they were covering that draw and he said the FTR is probably the greatest tag team of this generation? Were you upset when he said that?
I missed that.
Oh, okay.
I missed that.
Okay.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, he said that. I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah,
but
absolutely not. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Like we gotta stop this. Like we like.
Yeah, like we talking about the self-made thing last week, like the debate between Punk and Kenny Omega. Look,
AO promptly won 65-35 on the percentage.
It was that close. Look, I would like to say we were doing a comparison between Kenny Omega and CM Punk. I would like to say I think the Young Bucks are like a lot further away in that distance from like Edge and Christian. Like, no.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
Edge and Christian were a team for like what, a year?
I mean, I'm saying even if you include like the times they've been rivals and all that kind of stuff too. If you include their whole entire storyline intertwining with each other, going back to the Brew and all that shit too, like compared to the Young Bucks' career, nope. I'm not even saying as a tag team. I'm saying just as acts in wrestling.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We gotta be. They gotta be more careful with that one. It's going around on a little too willy nilly for me. So, well, yeah, that was pretty much all I had on the sheet here. James, go ahead and check your Facebook Messenger. I sent you a photo of Peter Boulware that I had looked.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a black conservative.
He didn't used to look like that.
He grew into his true self.
He did. He don't look like he ever played football. Look how like he's lost all. He's atrophied everything. That man don't live no waste no more.
Yep. But Lord. So a little bit different. Usually, we wouldn't have like one of these preview shows with the go homes because our new schedule and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're going to come back on Monday, right?
I don't know because all right. So Forbidden Door, it's an afternoon show.
Yeah.
So what about Sunday?
Oh shit.
Post show. I don't know. Production meeting on there. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But you'll definitely be getting a show either Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
No. Well, I don't know where you are, Seth. If you're in the Midwest, yes, noon. But like East Coast, it starts at 1.
Yep. So that will be fun to watch.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the few benefits of the UK shows.
Yeah, I just hope everybody gets a good meal while they over there. Stay away from the beans.
Shit.
All that shit. All the wrestlers. I know. I was talking with Kevin Knight about his breakfast or whatever, and man.
Oh, he said the options were lacking.
I'll show you this.
Hey man, why am I getting slandered with being called a Fed fan? Like, first off, I don't.
Nah, he told me it was trash. He told me that the meal he uploaded something to his story. I responded. I was like, "Oh hell no!" Nah. He was like, "It was trash." So,
well,
but we didn't talk about. We fucking missed one whole thing about WWE and the ESPN. Speaking of the Fed,
yeah.
So, ESPN has basically told these niggas, "Jump, it's time now. Your time is up. My time is now." And then it's the Peacock era is coming to a rapid and swift end. Apparently after the next pay-per-view. So I thought I kind of had a couple months to make the decision whether to still try to follow and watch WWE pay-per-views. Well, that thing has been sped up, and I am not paying no $30 to watch no WWE pay-per-views. Absolutely the fuck not.
I mean that's fine. It's not like you don't have my login. And they out here trying to make excuses. He's fine anyway. This man trying to not watch on WWE pay-per-views.
I don't know. It don't work. It don't work. It's one login. They got one login rules. Just want to adhere to the. Don't want to do nothing illegal. But ESPN basically said, they are moving up their rights takeover date from to 1 month from today, September 20th, and they're getting a new pay-per-view. I refuse to say the other word. WrestlePalooza. So they're doing it in Indianapolis, and they're gonna announce it on Thursday, and it's gonna be on ESPN's new direct-to-consumer app. And Peacock basically gave the okay for it to happen. And what happened was Peacock essentially was like, well, WWE was like, yo, we done gave y'all these extra WrestleManias and 2 nights of fucking whatever, so our obligation is up or whatever, but Peacock still had to kind of let them do it. So in exchange, Peacock is still getting Saturday night's main event, including the retirement of John Cena. They got booted off of fucking national television, not just national television, not cable. They got booted off a national network television. Because Saturday night's main event has flopped so much, they got sent to stream. John Cena's last match got sent to streaming. This is not a pay-per-view. They're not gonna book no exorbitant stadium for this or anything. I don't think. This is just like
they can sell they can
part of the fucking deal.
They should run MSG and sell that shit out.
They should.
Well, there's two options. It should be either MSG or it should be the Fleet Center. Wait, what's it called? What's it? Sorry, TD Garden. TD Garden, not Fleet Center.
Yeah.
TD Garden.
I know what you meant.
Fleet Center.
But that is and they wanted to put it head to head against World's End, but basically they got told no. Whatever. So the John Cena last is going to be December 13th. It's actually the date that we're recording FOH. That's amazing. So we probably won't see John Cena's last match live.
Damn, bro. Are you really going to tell John Cena to get the fuck out of here on his retirement day?
I mean, after this year.
He has had one of the worst retirement tours ever.
So, the network library will be on Peacock through the end of 2025, and much of this has already started. Nobody knows. Much of this has already started emerging on YouTube. And it's Slash, you should do an FOH mock draft on our episode. That feels like stepping on the brick, right?
I can't do that.
But look, it would be funnier if you guys did the mock.
Yes, it would.
FOH stuff. If you guys produce a Google Doc or whatever, and be like, this is what we think, the selections will be, and power rank the shit. I would get a kick out of that personally.
Yeah, you'd be like, yeah, all right. I think James is. That's what we should do. We should figure out the draft order ahead of time. Snake, obviously, because we do snake draft, and then we let people be like, all right, who do we think these, what's on the draft board available? Who do we think the order is going to go, or how do we think the order is going to go amongst us four, the 4 podcasters? Yeah, I think that'd be entertaining at the least.
Be like, you just go to the FOH channel and then start just getting creative, whatever you guys can think. But I don't know. I think this might be under this person. I think this might do whatever. I think that would be pretty funny, actually. What else? $30 a month for that ESPN app. Last Clash in Paris is the last Peacock event, and all these, they're just passing around or whatever to each service, whoever's giving them the money at a particular time. There's no think about it, they barely have any national television presence now. They got USA Network for SmackDown, Raw is on Netflix.
Yep.
The ESPN thing is going to have all these pay-per-views. Saturday night's main events Peacock, CW for NXT,
Yep.
Tubi for Evolve. Like they're trying to just spread their wings all over, pretty much. Ethan Saber Jr., any NFL teams besides the Bucks you'll be keeping track of this season? I don't really watch the NFL. I just play Madden. I don't really know a lot of the players anymore. And James is a Vikings fan, so I don't know if we ever really followed the Bucks.
I followed the Bucks because like that was the only thing I could watch until you know I got to high school just about. But like yeah, like the only reason I became a Vikings fan is like I saw Randy Moss's rookie year twice because they were in the same conference. They were in NFC Central, and I was like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, like the 98 through 2003 Bucks, I watched most of those games. So yeah, like I have a fondness for that era of Buccaneers, but like I wasn't a fan. I've only been to 2 Bucks games in my life. But yeah,
I have been watching that Dallas Cowboys series on Netflix though, which makes for some great propaganda. It makes for some great viewing. Like if you want to learn the story or some shit, and like if you want to become a fan of something or something, like you know, I'm not gonna become a fan of the Cowboys or anything, but I could see some people be like, you know what, this is gonna be my team, or whatever. Just seeing the whole history of it and everything like that. And Jerry Jones on there, he's actually really awesome. He's funny and you know, just telling all the stories and shit like there. Jimmy Johnson's on there. Michael Irvin's fucking hilarious in it. I'm probably like 3 episodes in, maybe. And it's like 8 parts, so it's like I imagine if you're a Cowboys fan, you are fucking living watching this or whatever. But like I imagine like once it gets past 1995, it's gonna feel real different. Let's just say that.
So it goes past Cowboys fans. How far does it?
Yeah,
like, where do you think it's gonna end?
I think they go like episode 7. It's like after basically 1995. It's like what has happened in the next 30 years essentially.
Okay, that's it.
But Jerry Jones, very interesting kind of like bro, like when he went in there, it was almost like this how Trump is trying to run this country. Like this man went in there, ain't know nothing about nothing or whatever. But Jerry Jones actually started like figuring that shit out. Like he's like, hey man, I don't need all these people or whatever. I'll just like, fucking do this shit.
Like I wouldn't say as much as Al Davis was, but like he was a owner that had a football mind that didn't come from, you know, that didn't play in the league, right? Like Jerry Richardson, for example, he played in the league. Well, he's no longer owner of the Panthers. You can bring my point. Like that has happened before, but like Jerry Jones and Al Davis, like the two was like, yo, they may have played football or whatever else or at a certain level, but like they ended up being like pro football men and are like going to be immortalized as such without actually ever playing in NFL. So yeah. But you know, Jerry was such a big personality, and that was the point of it. That is like, it's very similar to the man stuff. It's like you never know when he actually relinquished power, and you never know how much power he actually relinquished, and how fluid or if that static or fluid. So yeah, that's been a lot of the drama with them the last 30 years. Is like, you know, when it was the Parcells, or you know, the breakup with Jimmy Johnson and the Parcells thing, and then now it turns into like, he keeps all these coaches too long now. Like he had Garrett forever. He's holding on to McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Ottenheimer or some shit he has now or something like that, right?
Back in the day, yeah. That didn't last long. So yeah, they're interesting. Because like their amount of fame has made them interesting. Especially like
like it's an awesome story. Like it's just like how fucking like there was this a sorry team and then they were good and then they were sorry again and then they got real fucking good after that.
And that's the thing. Like when you look at like the biggest fan bases, you know, the Packers fans, the Niners fans, Steelers fans, Cowboys fans, it's like they all, you know, similar when we talk about Jordan and Hogan, all these other places like Stallone, Schwarzenegger's, like they all hit in like the 70s and 80s as like TV and cable and like the expansion of, you know, being able to see this stuff as opposed to just catch on the radio. And then like their successes in the 70s and 80s then make them the key in the along with the Raiders, like make them like the key franchises, and like, you know, you could honestly do. I would love to see a one with the Steelers of this.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see one of like the Packers, but it had to be the Cowboys first.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like I'm not no like Cowboys fan or anything like that, but it's like
given
story.
And given what we know from that Perlman book or whatever else, it's also like you mentioned propaganda at its finest.
Oh,
and
yeah. This thing is like
I always wanted to buy that Perlman book, but I saw some of the stuff I heard from the learned about books same way like before I ever bought like Showtime or Three Ring Circus for the two Lakers dynasties or whatever else. It was like I've heard enough from these Perlman books to want to buy them and then read through them. Like I remember I told you the other day I read through like the last year of Shaq in LA with that Gary Payton and Karl Malone team and like the whole Kobe thing. I'm like, bro, you forget how fucking fed up they were with Kobe by the very end. Them niggas were tired of him. Like they clearly were in a situation where like, relationships are dynamic, but like when you meet somebody at a certain time, you don't like see their growth. And like it's clear to me that like the vets on the Lakers that were with the Lakers throughout the whole run, like
Rick Fox,
like Rick Fox, even a Derek Fisher, or Robert Horry, like
Brian Shaw.
Yeah, they clearly still saw it as this is Shaq's team, and like that's still the kid. He's still the kid. They didn't
realize what was going on.
I don't even know about they knew he had got good, but they weren't willing to accept it. Like it's going to be Kobe's team, and it's going to be sooner rather than later. And then like you see at the end of it, like like Jerry West understands this, but the players didn't. Did I say Jerry West? I meant Jerry Buss. Sorry, Jerry Buss knew it.
Jerry Buss, Buss, yeah.
But the players didn't. And then like that foreshadows, and that's like when and then all the players realize it's like, oh, Shaq's getting traded because Kobe's a free agent, and he has basically done everything but tell the whole entire team like, I'm not coming back here if Shaq's here, and I don't care. And like I may feel the same way if Phil's back, but I'm not as mad at Phil as I am at Shaq. So like that's the kind of stuff you got the Perlman books when he covers these teams. So like. Yeah, like I definitely pick up the Cowboys one because I know they got something wild about Michael Irvin and Dion.
Oh, I can't wait till they start talking about the White House. I haven't even got to that part.
Are they going to have that in there? Because the Perlman book did, but I don't know if they got in there. Did they at least foreshadow it before they got early in the show?
I don't remember.
Okay.
And where I start with, great comment there. Most people have a problem of seeing who you are versus who you were when they first meet you.
Yes.
Yeah, like that. I think that's a lot of like, there's a lot of pro wrestling storylines that work like that. Like that, I think that's a big thing with Hangman and the Elite. Like that was like, all right, like
Hangman and
the young guy. At some point, you gotta rise up or whatever. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, because most people's relationships don't change. It's a lot of times, even in like family dynamics or friend dynamics, is like you may have evolved and then like you're with these people and then like you kind of revert back to old behaviors, not even knowing you're doing it. So I can imagine that like on a team setting, it's like that. I mean, it's certainly like that with like some of the guys I play football with, where it's like, oh, okay. But like that Kobe thing is like, I just forgot. Like I was there, lived it. It's one of those things where it's like, when you have stuff that you care about and you can find books on the matter or whatever else, like if you can, like it's good to have that on hand to be able to refresh your memory of this stuff. Because like, as you mentioned with the whole Kobe slander and stuff over the summer or whatever else, you forget, it's easy to forget things because all this stuff turns to like this narrative battle. You forget. Yeah. But anything else?
No, that's it, man.
All right. Thanks for listening, y'all. If you are watching from the show, wait
Social Suplex newsletter. I don't promote that enough. Make sure you guys check that out.
Yes.
It's free.
Yes.
It's like the best thing.
Yes. And speaking of that, I await Trish to berate me on me not knowing about whether or not like Scotland is like its own independent country, its own government or not. I don't know. I looked at while we were doing this podcast, I was like, I still don't know. Whatever. I'm sure I will be made fun of. It is what it is. But yeah, if you listen from the show, thanks for listening. If you are watching the stream, wait until the show comes out. Go to the link to the Red Circle. You can donate there to the show. And also check out our Chop Tees store. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, Imps Adventure, Wrestling Art of His Things, AEW Match Guide, the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast, and Tone Talk. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.
Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams one-coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3.